So we've finished the book of Ecclesiastes, Solomon's reflections from his great wealth, where he had access to so much of life that actually if you just look at this world on its own, it all becomes meaningless, mostly because death ends it all and ruins it all. And his conclusion is actually we need to recognise that there's more than just this world around us. There is a God that we need to be right with, and we need to fear him and keep his commandments. Clearly that's the whole problem. Actually we don't, and although Ecclesiastes doesn't get us there, the rest of the Bible tells us that Jesus has come to fulfill that life of fearing God, that wisdom, that obedience to God's commands, and then has paid the penalty that we might be forgiven. He is our hope in this broken world. We'll now move on to the Song of Solomon, a poem celebrating love. It's beautiful. It's just taking time to revel in romance and beauty and the sweetness and joy of a romantic relationship. It is a celebration of that, and because it's poetry, we're drawn in. We need to think. It doesn't all appear obvious straight away. In fact, we're not always entirely sure who is speaking in this in this conversation between a woman and the man she loves. And the NIV version we use tries to break it up as best it can to suggest who might be speaking. But as this couple are caught up with each other and the joy of love, it's something to be enjoyed and revelled in, something we can reflect on and enjoy the sweetness of. But then it brings sorrow, doesn't it? Because some of us have never experienced this, or we've had it for a while, but it's so fleeting. We live in a broken world where this might be the dream of the films, the romance, and yet so often it isn't our experience. And it points us beyond then, as we taste the sweetness of this, to an intimate relationship we all so need. And Jesus himself pictures himself as the bridegroom come to sweep the bride off her feet, the one who comes with great love and tenderness and draws us into an intimate relationship. And so we can't help being pointed beyond the poetry here to the Lord Jesus Christ. So we're going to read, we're going to revel and enjoy the poetry, and allow it to cause us to reflect on this whole beauty of romantic love. Solomon's Song of Songs. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. For your love is more delightful than wine. Pleasing is the fragrance of your perfumes. Your name is like perfume poured out. No wonder the young women love you. Your name, the name is the sum of the character, representative of the person. And this person, this man, is so wonderful. His character is like perfume poured out. The sweetness of the smell and the aroma is just delightful, brings pleasure, and she longs then that she might experience that intimacy of his kiss, because his love is just so lovely. Take me away with you, let us hurry, let the king bring me into his chamber. She longs to be swept up and drawn into relationship with him. And then the friends say, we rejoice and delight in you, we will praise your love more than wine, how right they are to adore you. This chorus kind of echoes the celebration of this beautiful love. And yet there's an insecurity in the lady. Dark am I, yet lovely, daughters of Jerusalem, dark like the tents of Kedar, like the tent curtains of Solomon. Do not stare at me because I am dark, because I am darkened by the sun. My mother's sons were angry with me and made me take care of the vineyards. My own vineyard I had to neglect. She's conscious that her skin is darker than others. She's had to work out in the heat of the sun. She's burnt by the sun. In our culture, a tan is a thing to be desired. It shows leisure to be able to sit out in the sunshine and enjoy its health. In hotter climates, a tan is an expression of having to go out to work and not being able to stay inside and pander yourself. And so here is this girl from a harsh background. She's had to be out in the sun working and is self-conscious about her physical appearance. Tell me, you whom I love, where you graze your flock and where you rest your sheep at midday. Why should I be like a veiled woman beside the flocks of your friends? How can I find him? How can I come and spend time with you? If you do not know, most beautiful of women, follow the tracks of the sheep and graze your young goats by the tents of the shepherds. Come and find me, he says. Come and follow the typical routes and come and find me. There's some teasing here. There's this longing to be together. I liken you, my darling, to a mare among Pharaoh's chariot horses. Might not sound too complimentary in our circles. Face like a horse, But here's the picture: the grand stallions, the mighty war horses of Pharaoh's chariot horses, and here is this beautiful mare, not full of testosterone and muscle, but beauty, and just something to stand out and be admired. Your cheeks are beautiful with earrings, your neck with strings of jewels. We will make you earrings of gold studded with silver. While the king was at his table, my perfume spread its fragrance. My beloved is to me a sachet of myrrh resting between my breasts. My beloved is to me a cluster of henna blossoms from the vineyards of En-Gedi. There is the sweetest of fragrance. There is the delight in these beautiful forms. That is the sensation in this relationship. How beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful. Your eyes are doves. How handsome you are, my beloved. Oh, how charming. And our bed is verdant. There's this mutual delight in each other, and then the consummation of that is an intimate relationship of life. The beams of our house are cedars, our rafters are firs. There's some strength here in this structure. I'm a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. Like a lily among thorns is my darling among the young women. She stands out amongst all the others as something beautiful. Like an apple tree among the trees of the forest is my beloved among the young men. A delight to sit in his shade, and his fruit is sweet to my taste. Let him lead me to the banquet hall, and let his banner over me be love. Here is the girl then, finding in the man strength and a security, a protection, a provision, and a longing then that he will lead her to that banquet and to set his banner over her of love, the beautiful relationship that she longs to be found in him. Strengthen me with raisins, refresh me with apples, for I am faint with love. His left arm is under my head, and his right arm embraces me. She's caught up in his hug, and she is overwhelmed with this. She's giddy with it. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you by the gazelles and by the does of the field, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. She's saying to those around her, you can't force this. You can't try and magic it up. There is something powerful about this love and this romance, and give it its appropriate time for it to come. It's a beautiful start to the poem, isn't it? And so full of delight and joy and intimacy. But as I've said before, while this is the height of it, it doesn't bring the satisfaction. It doesn't always last. So much brokenness surrounds it, and so we are pointed forward to the Lord Jesus Christ and the perfect bridegroom, who wraps us in his arms and protects us and offers that shielding and that provision that we need, and the intimacy of a loving relationship. And so we need to celebrate romantic love. We need to enjoy it where we are able to, where it's appropriate, but we look for a greater, deeper security in the love of the Lord Jesus Christ.